Good night and welcome to a special episode of the Minority Report. This evening we are celebrating International Women's Day, Minority Report style. So I am your host, Petal Benoit, Minority Counselor. We have given our normal host a holiday for this evening. He will return next Tuesday, but I have in studio with us some special guests, and we are highlighting the achievements of women as we celebrate International Women's Day on the Minority Report this evening. So before we get into our discussions for this evening's program, I want to remind you of where you can contact and view this Minority Report. So we have our Tobago Updates website, Tobago Updates on YouTube, as well as the Tobago Updates Facebook page and M&E TV. We are accepting WhatsApps, and we are inviting you to call into this discussion. The lines will be open for most of the program this evening. So our WhatsApp number is 284-6597. Again, I am your host for this evening. I am Petal Benoit, Minority Counselor. And I have with me some interesting guests, some special guests. We have a full female panel this evening as we celebrate International Women's Day. And I want to invite Akisi London.
Good evening, Petal.
Welcome to the set of the Minority Report.
Thank you for having me.
It is good to have you. And we also have Miss Natasha Rochford Chats. Did I get that correct? Almost.
Good evening, and thank you for having me as well.
So welcome, ladies, to the set of the Minority Report. It's really good to have you here. I think it's a first for us this evening.
I think so.
You know, all-female sets. I don't think we have had an all-female set on the Minority Report, so there are a lot of firsts here. So let's jump right into the discussions this evening. We are celebrating International Women's Day, and of course, we know the theme is embracing equity. So we are looking at equity versus equality. So I want to start off by first asking you, what does this particular theme, how do you feel about it? What are some of the things that stand out to you when we say embracing equity, and how could we address equity versus equality as we improve, as we push for that gender equality? Akisi, I see you.
We are hands up.
Yes.
I think the theme this year is a very interesting one because women have been advocating for equity in the workplace, equity overall, and I think that the world is slowly getting around to recognizing our plight, and I'm all for it. I'm all for women getting the equal share of the pie, getting same pay, same treatment in the workplace, etc., in different spheres of work as well, civil engineering, in unconventional work that we think that women are not to be because we're supposed to be home. So I am happy that we're getting there as a world, and looking forward to the evolution of it.
Excellent. Yeah. Natasha, you want to jump in?
Of course. I mean, that's what women do. We jump in and we try to take charge of a situation. We have been, getting to that point where we are saying, hey, here we are, and it's our time to shine. So equality for me is where everybody have the same resources. And equity means I may be different to you and given the same resources to reach this goal, right?
Correct.
So I may take a different time in getting to that. And so for instance, while we break the glass ceiling constantly, is that because we saw ourselves as being that person who did the task but was not recognized for the task that we did. And now we are saying, hey, we can do this, you know. And it's not about, usually when you talk about that in a man's world, he say, well, lift a bag of cement.
Yes.
I mean, we go in the gym and we pump more than 50 pounds.
Correct.
A bag of cement is still 50 pounds.
Correct.
So it's not that we can't, it's just that it may not be one of the things that we practiced growing up because we were taught in a particular way that there's a man's job and there's a woman's job.
Correct.
So with equality and equity, it's like you pushing yourself towards being recognized for what you contribute to society. And I'm happy that we are here.
Exactly.
agree.
And I think when we do that, when we look at equity versus equality, we are at different places.
Correct.
And it means that if you give me the same share of the pie, it may not necessarily add to that progression towards what we want to achieve. But if you look at the shortcomings of my situations and you address those equitably, it means that whatever those shortcomings are, you provide those shortcomings and you just don't give the equal share of the pie because everybody is.
Yeah.
So some
Yes,
will be
yeah.
disadvantaged.
Correct.
And the progress that we should make towards, I would say, breaking that glass ceiling even further, it is delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we continue on with the discussion, ladies, I want you to share with the public a little about yourselves and how you feel generally about International Women's Day. And you know, a lot of times as women, we don't celebrate ourselves. We don't celebrate other women. You know, sometimes I feel like we are our own worst enemies.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
So that sting of the sting of the tongue, you know, a woman's scorn has no fury. And I think even as it relates to each other, we could do a lot more as we celebrate, as we support. So yes, share with us a little about yourselves, and as we commemorate International Women's Day.
I see you looking directly at me.
Yes.
You're hoping that I respond first. Okay, so I am Natasha Rochford Chance, mother of 2 young ladies and proud grandmother of a beautiful granddaughter and
Congrats.
a very handsome grandson. So that's family. I cherish family. I love family. I mean, I jokingly say, and I'm saying jokingly here, I jokingly would say, if I don't necessarily like having kids, but I love having grandkids. And to get to having grandkids, you must have kids. So for instance, I would say to my grandchildren, if it is that you go to the doctor and they say, well, I have to give a part of my body for them to survive, and then I will pass away, I will say, God, I have lived. But if my children were to suffer that, I would say, please go to a next opinion. Right? So that is jokingly who I am. But I was a student. I did my first degree in business. I did my master's in business. That's academics. I lectured at the University of Open Campus for quite some time. I consider myself a coach and a mentor. I have managed for over 25 years. But that's just the frill. What I love to do is cook. I am an entrepreneur. I have Rockside Kitchen. As a matter of fact, if our male host was here, he could have told you about some of the delicacies that he received.
Yes, you should have brought some today.
I should have, but he will pick up his after. So I enjoy, cooking and that sort of stuff, baking and that kind of thing. I am an actor. I'm also a writer. So the fun part of me is writing. Right now, I recently completed writing what we call a radio novella. It's like a story for radio, and it can be adopted. Let me make a plug on Tobago Updates. It can be adopted.
As you should.
Yes, producer. Correct. So, Mr. Producer, if you're listening, it can be adopted for here. It's a real nice love story. I mean, so that's the fun things I like to do. But I'm really a family person. I love the politics, and I find these days the politics it's different, it's sweet, it's strange, it's awkward, it's nice, it's horrible, it's horrifying, it's scary, but it's what it is.
It's what it is.
Yeah, so it's so much a callaloo that you can't help but learn from it and explore deeper and think deeper, And so that's generally who I am. Just a calm, hopefully sensible young person. Still, fairly young and just aspiring to be the best person that I can be in this world.
Thank you, Natasha,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing, all of Natasha or some of Natasha with us on Tobago Updates. And we celebrate Natasha, we celebrate women.
You.
And this is something that we should not only do on International Women's Day,
Yeah, one day.
but celebrate our women and support our women
All the
all year
time.
round.
Yeah.
So, Akisi, tell us about yourself.
I am Akisi London. I like to describe myself as an extroverted introvert because I have my moments when I like to be
Right.
out there, fun in different activities, and times when I just want to recoil and just, be Michelle. But I am a lover of life, a lover of adventure. I love to help in whatever capacity. I am very involved in my community, in the village council, in the police youth club. I'm involved in the politics, as Natasha, I love the politics. I am General Secretary of the Tobago Council, PNM, and I enjoy just living life and I love to celebrate women. I think that's not even women alone, people, but I think I have a special love for young people and young women when they achieve a lot of things that they want to do. I love to celebrate that. I was going to say something, but Marilyn would have been vexed with me if he was here.
Well, let's pretend he's not.
But that's Akisi in a nutshell. Friendly, loving, love to help, love politics, love to cook, love to read, love to experience different things.
Nice.
Yes.
So you have a lot of cooks on set.
Yeah.
We should have gotten
We should do something.
And I love to eat. So
So like a mean corn pie Sunday go on there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's one of the things as women. It's as if it's something that we must do.
Yes.
And we must do it well.
Mind you, I don't know if you ever ate from your male host, your usual male host.
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
Just plugging that there. And I'm sure that a woman taught him. Yeah. Almost certain that a woman taught him.
Yes, I am sure of that too. Yeah. So as we continue to celebrate International Women's Day, we encourage all of viewers to call in or WhatsApp 284-6597 and continue to view us on our Tobago Updates page on Facebook as well as M&E TV. And even right here in Tobago, there are a lot of women. There are some women who would have blazed the trail for young women like us to be successful and to achieve what we have achieved. And, we all have some liken to the political arena. And, in the past, politics was a male-dominated. Yes, there are a number of men involved in politics, but we see over time that the involvement of female in frontline politics has increased significantly. And I think off the top of our heads, we can identify some women in politics. Yeah. We had our very own Sylvia Alfred.
Yes.
Yes, she was deputy chief secretary
at one time. And then interculture.
Precisely, and then secretary of culture. And she was very involved in the culture and the performing arts.
Right.
I think she would have contributed to many lives in that art form. I remember her being the first, that secretary, when her first year being the secretary of culture. When we had that Tobago Heritage Festival, I think that was one of the years where we had a trilogy.
Right.
And I was privileged to be a part of that production.
Right.
I think that was, for me, one of the best Heritage Festival productions. So, Miss Alfred,
take a bow.
Yes, we salute you for your contributions to the development. Yes. And Best Village, because you would hear her name, being involved and calling in and being involved in the whole Best Village. And of course, Mount St. George at the time was one of the communities in Tobago, because there weren't many communities in Tobago, but Mount St. George was one of those communities that topped the Best Village performing stage. So yes, Miss Cynthia Alfred, we salute you for your contributions to the development of Tobago, our people and culture. Can we think about any other women in politics?
Of course, we had presiding officer, and we do now have a presiding officer that is female. One of my favorites would have been, the one that was before this one, which is Dr. Denise Angus. And she's such a gentle person, sometimes misunderstood by the public, but such a a person with such a big heart, you know, and I love her tremendously. And you would see her. It doesn't matter what she does or how she does it. You could see that love for people, that genuine, you know, love for people. I mean, and I just wish her the best always. We currently have one that is sitting there now. I don't know much about Abby, and I haven't followed, you know, significantly. But you know, people are coming forward in the political arena, and it's superb to see women advancing.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I think we also can't forget Mrs. Anne Mitchell Gift.
And Mitchell,
I think she may have been one of the first female presiding officers. Yes, yeah.
As a youngster, seeing Miss Anne Mitchell, and I'm like, nice, aspiring to be.
Yes. So
there
she would have
one
set
of
the
these
tone.
days, yes.
and then there was
Definitely.
Vanessa Cutting,
Thomas,
Vanessa Cutting Thomas, and so yeah, there was ladies
Claudia
who.
Bloom Duke.
Yes.
Oh, she was well. She wasn't presiding officer,
Yeah,
but
she was
in the politics.
secretary.
You
She
know,
was Secretary of Education, Secretary of Health. I think she was also at one point in time leader of Assembly Business.
Yes. Correct.
Again, that may be a first in the Tobago House of Assembly as female leader of Assembly Business. And now we are seeing where the number of politicians, particularly in Tobago, if we look around at the Tobago House of Assembly, I think there are a lot of female politicians, frontline secretaries, assemblymen.
I think society is calling for a different type of leadership. That's why you would see a lot more women advancing in the political arena. You know, it was a more rigid society back in the day where it was like, stand straight, walk this way, do this, shut up, sit down, don't talk. Just like when they move from police force to police service.
Yes.
And because people were now, this whole equality thing and fairness and how to treat people differently, I think that's where the softer side of women, or that softer touch came in, and women advanced because of the demands of society generally. For me, that's what it is for me. You know?
Excellent.
Even or the last political leader of the People's National Movement, she was acting
She was
deputy, but then she acted as chief secretary, as we would have Dr. Faith B. Israel acting.
Correct.
So you see, you have had that, and we continue to have that. I really love the fact that, you know, women are, you know, finding the place in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, and we are crafting and creating our space.
We
are not waiting.
Yes, no longer are we waiting. Correct. And this started since 1908 or somewhere there, you know. We first celebrated, I think, in 1910, the first International Women's Day. But I think we started crying out since in 1908, if I'm not mistaken, based on the history. Yeah, so it's been some years, and we will have more years to come crying out until, because what they say is that female equality is human equality. You know, like how they say Black Lives Matters means all life matters. It's the same as female, and you know, female rights. It's female rights as human rights.
Correct. Yes, and as we delve more into the theme this year, the United Nations 2023, they have dubbed their team as digital.
Correct.
So DIGTALL, digital. Innovation and technology for gender equality.
Yes.
And we recognize that even before COVID, that we were moving towards this increased digitization. And with the advent of COVID, it would have accelerated the process towards, you know, becoming more and more digital. And when you look around, you recognize more and more banks. You have internet banking, so they are reducing the persons physically going into the bank.
Correct.
We're moving towards e-government. So now I won't say we are being forced, but we are being encouraged more and more to do everything online. So you file your taxes online. No more you have this piece of paper that you have to go into Inland Revenue.
Yes,
even e-signatures
are
now being recognized as your actual signature.
Yes. So the bill, I think the bill came to Parliament. And this is something that is now being a part of our normal everyday life.
We are.
And the thing about it is, as women, if we are not moving in the direction that the world is going, we will get left behind. And I think the statistics speaks to a fewer number of women having access to internet and digitization when compared to our men. And even as we look at the types of jobs that require the digitization. We are also seeing
Yeah.
more male-dominated versus female
yes.
involvement. So let's just have a little discussion around that and how we feel about that, this whole theme about digital.
You're looking at me again.
Yes.
So for me, I would take it further back to the classrooms. Boys, let's look at like your first degree. More male persons attend classes of information technology. Even back in high
Yes,
schools, you'll
yes.
find more male persons being attracted. For some reason, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's because they think, you know, like to crack the code, because that's part of the team, to cracking the code.
Yes.
If they think, okay, for you to crack the code, you need to be male. For you to be this kind of person who, you know, gets that job done. I want to break loose.
Yeah, we always see those boys as computer geeks just below there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's
Yeah.
because of the kind of advertisement that is out there that it encourage more male persons
To do
towards that
IT.
kind of study.
Yeah.
Even when you look at movies, you very rare find a female who will crack a code. Right?
Yes.
Um,
She's found a genius.
Correct. The male is regular,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
female like, woo,
Genius.
this is a big
Yes.
deal. So I think even the movies, the advertisements, all the things that is out there have encouraged male persons to study in that arena. And that's why we're saying, well, crack that code.
Yeah.
Because now everybody needs to be sensitized digitally, because that's the way the world is going. So in the school, in the classroom, in the mindset, even when the parents, you know, you talk to your guys and you talk to your daughters, there's a different way. Like you tell the guy to push a particular way,
Yes.
and you tell your girls to, you force them in a particular way. And we have to allow people, like my tagline is find your niche and mind your business. We no longer allow children to find their niche and mind their business. So you will find that a lot of people are trained, like the best babysitter now is a tablet.
Yes. Or a phone.
Yeah, like the best babysitter, you know. So you would
Right.
find, and then you would just have person sitting there and they're going through, whether boy or girl, but you would find the boys like they're just there and they want to build their own game. So you have to be mindful of how you guide your child's mind towards certain things. I think it starts there in terms of allowing that mind to be expanded, so that people will choose, or female will choose a particular route.
Excellent. Akiti?
I think that, as you rightfully said, if we don't adapt, we'll be left behind. I think that over time, women have proven themselves to be able to do as a good job as a man, or even better in some spheres. And I believe that digitization has opened a lot of doors in terms of work for most women, because I realized, especially with the onset of COVID, that a lot of work from home, a lot of remote jobs, have been, advertised and open. And women would typically just take them because they want to stay home and rear their children. So they're killing two birds with one stone kind of thing. But I welcome and I embrace digitization. I think that it's the way the world is going. And we need to keep up with the times. Especially in Tobago here. We need to keep up with the times. Yeah.
Excellent. So what about our thoughts? Because we recognize now, and Natasha would have indicated that the tablets or the television or the phones have become caretakers.
Yeah.
So our young ones or children are more
In tune with
that type of technology. So whether or not we like it, whether or not they are formally taught, it's a part of them.
They're born knowing.
Yes,
for some
correct.
reason.
Yes, so this children,
Yeah.
these children, new age children, technology is basically a way of life for them at a tender age. As a woman, but for me, I recognize, particularly older women, there is a block in terms of technology. Yes. So when we see a new phone or a tablet or even a computer, we become afraid, we become timid, we feel like if we manipulate or we touch something that we shouldn't touch, like we would lose everything, something will go wrong. But if we adopt the mindset of children, they just touch anything, investigate, they learn from their mistakes.
Correct.
So I also feel, because when you look at the statistics, it says, I think it's what, 22. It says, sorry, that 37% of women do not use the internet. 259 million fewer women have access to internet than men. Even though they account for nearly half of the world's population.
Yeah.
This is startling.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
Yeah?
And but that speaks to homes, which means that probably the same number of homes are made up of not women. Because if you had that in the home, then it would speak to both parties being exposed to the internet and not just a male person having the internet. So you would see from that statistic, you can pull another that says there are a lot of single mother homes or female homes, right? Why a female may not look as the internet for one of the options, first and foremost, is that for some, it's not an advancement of anything for them, except if they're studying, right? So a man would want, I mean, we know that pornography is a big thing. So for you to access that,
Internet.
we know the general consumers of pornography, right? So you would, no, I said general, I didn't say all.
Okay.
I said general, right? So if you look at the statistics for pornography, you would see that the numbers escalate with the other gender. So you would find that internet for the female is not like a first, it's not on the high, it's not highly ranked on their list. How do we change that?
Yeah.
You want to probably encourage more persons to study because most of the studies are available online. Therefore, they would need internet access. You probably want to encourage more female to read. Most of the things that they read, Google is everybody's best friend, right? You would, and they know that they have access to more information now when they read. So it's just an encouragement. I think it's a mindset. Is that you want to advance? Go ahead. I go stay home and see my trend. I don't have time with all this that's going on in the world. So you find some of us are still scared and we still stay back, and we just say, okay, the world is designed like this.
I think it's especially with older women is a culture and a comfort for them, because why you going and headache yourself to go and learn over this new phone to see what's going on, or whether you want to do something online when you're accustomed going in the bank and lining up and you make your noise, but you're still going in the bank and you line up. Because I remember in recent times when they started paying bills online. So I'm like telling my aunt, let me just set you up online so you don't have to go in. And she refuses to set up online. She wants to go in the line in the bank. She wants to go in T&Tech. She wants to go. And it probably is just a comfort, and they know that, hey, if I go in there and I see the transaction being made and it's been done, rather than doing it online and you're not seeing it. So it probably is that, because I never understood it, but
for some it's a means of socialization
as well.
Yeah,
and I assume that's much
for more
senior
women.
exactly.
Yes,
where you see a little Makume who you ain't seen a while and you catch up and
how I go see Tash? How I go see you? You know?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's a way of life for them. You're so right. It's really a way of
so
life.
it is.
So we have been celebrating and speaking about women and the theme for this year, embracing equity. So as we continue our discussions, we will take a short break and we will return right back.
Live where you vacation. Come let we go. Come let we go. Come let we go.
Welcome to L'Image Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
October will never be better. With Tobago, carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over. This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
And welcome back to this special episode of the Minority Report. I'm your host, Petal Benoit, Minority Counselor. And today we are celebrating International Women's Day, embracing equity, digital, innovation, and technology for gender equality. We are inviting you to call in and to share your thoughts, as well as to share some women that you would want to celebrate as we commemorate International Women's Day tomorrow, Wednesday, 8th March 2023. So call us on 284-6597. You can also view us on Tobago Updates Facebook page, M&E TV, as well as the Tobago Updates website and our YouTube channel. So let's get back into our discussions. And if you are now joining us on set, we have Miss Akisi London and we have Natasha Rochford Chance. Yes. So our discussions continue in terms of celebrating women. And we were speaking off set about the number of women and more senior women who would have, again, broken the glass ceiling, who would have set the tone for us younger women to be successful and to feel confident, blazing the trail, doing what we need to do. And one person comes to mind, Dr. Eastland Mackenzie.
Yes.
Yeah, and we know Dr. Eastland Mackenzie as mentor. We know her as actor, cultural icon, a senator, independent senator. Yeah. And I don't know how many of us looked at Turn of the Tide.
Oh, yes.
Of course. And it's on YouTube, so you can
yes, episodes.
So commonly known as Tiny.
Tiny. So Dr. Mackenzie has really set the tone. Dr. Mackenzie, we celebrate you for all your achievements, and I think she is heavily involved now in the the school. I think it's the handicap, not
School for the Deaf.
No.
I'm not sure about that. I do know in part of the library, and I do know,
the library.
Yes, the
and
library.
I do know. Let's
Happy
say,
Haven.
Right.
Isn't she involved? I think she's
I'm not
involved
sure.
in Happy Haven.
I'm not sure, to be quite honest.
She's-
I do know, like, let's say, I remember when we performed for Heritage opening and so on, and usually when Jared Primer or Onika Henry is involved in the directing of the play that we would normally perform, they would invite her and she would have counsel with us. And you can't believe the things that she will tell you. And you would feel so, it's almost as if you would, like your mom talking to you.
Yes,
You know, she
yes,
would touch
yes.
every single person to me, because she touched me in a special way. Every time I listen to her, it's like a different, you get something
Yes,
different
she
from her.
is.
You know, this genuineness, this love for culture, love for the art form. And she's such a natural performer.
Yes.
Really, really
She's
blessed
and
human
force
being.
to be reckoned with.
Correct.
Her skills
yes.
with Master of Ceremonies.
Ooh. At the Mariah wedding, you ever saw her?
Yes.
Ooh.
I
Her
have
in
witnessed.
action.
Yes, her in action.
When she in action, she in action. She's action, somebody.
You were saying.
No, I was saying she's a force to be reckoned with. Just looking on as a young person coming up and seeing her, especially in Parliament, and making her contributions. And she's so, she's direct with what she says. She says what she means, and she means what she says.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And it's something that I admire with Dr. Mack a lot.
What I like about Dr. Mack too is that she's not afraid to go into the dialect.
Oh, yes,
As if
She
Yep.
embraced
we
such a
need
big
to
woodenism.
speak the
To be
standard
so
English
proper all the time. Correct.
But she gets her point across.
Across.
You know, when she
Yeah.
goes into the dialect, and she keeps you tuned in.
Correct.
She keeps you
Correct.
like
She
locked
understands
onto
the
every
audience.
word.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
She's an
And
actor.
she's a woman
Correct.
of time.
Correct.
So yes, when Dr.
But
Mack
she tell her
says, so again, Dr. Mackenzie, we thank you, we celebrate you, we thank you for all that you have contributed to the development of Tobago and our people. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, and we also have with her in this scene, Miss Kennetta Bob.
Kennetta Bob.
Another
Correct.
stalwart. She retired teacher, actor.
of economics
Yes,
at Scarborough
yes,
Secondary.
she was there
She taught
while I
me.
attended Scarborough Secondary School. I think she was also a radio host announcer.
She used to be a Tamarind.
Yes, at Radio Tamarind. So Dr. Mrs. or Miss
Yeah.
Miss Kennetta Bob, again, we thank you for your contributions to education and the art form. And Kennetta, Miss Bob, is also another person who will tell you as it is.
As
Oh,
it
Lord.
is.
Oh,
Correct.
Lord. And again.
Not putting water
Yes,
in
and
mouth.
again.
she will
And
tell
again.
you as it is. She doesn't hesitate to bring you on the straight and
Yes,
narrow.
yeah.
In spite of how
I think
you
it
may
comes
feel.
from a lineage though. I think the other sisters that I've met are quite the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Miss Bob, we thank you again for your contribution. What about some other women?
You know, growing up, I am because I'm not that seasoned, but there are names that you would hear, especially in the politics. There's Deborah Moore Begins.
Oh God.
Yes.
There is Beverly Ramsey Moore. There's also the name is evading me right now.
Eudine Job.
Just
Yes,
Eudine
Eugene
Job.
Joe Davis.
Pamela Nicholson.
Correct. And
Sister
another person who was recently appointed or given she received a honorary doctorate.
We talked about earlier.
Yes, and it's Alfred.
Yeah, correct.
So let's discuss a little because we came out of Carnival season. I think it was a successful season for Pan in Tobago in particular.
Beautiful.
And
So proud.
you know, the lady at the helm of the Pan Trinbago, the National Steel Band Association. She's our very own Tobagonian from Blackrock, and I think
Bold
she
and
has
brave.
made us all very proud.
Very
And her
proud.
stewardship since being the president of Pan Trinbago, I think we have seen significant transformation
Yes.
Yes.
in that organization
Definitely.
since she ascended to leadership.
Yes.
And I know Natasha was very passionate during the break you know
I love her,
about
she knows,
yes,
she knows, she knows. I
about
love her, I love her, I
um
love her.
Amazing contribution.
Yes,
to Pan.
always.
About-
eh?
Yeah. And
Even
always-
even in a political, whether you're on her political side or not, you
Yes.
would listen to her.
Yes.
Because she is one of those persons that I consider to be fake. You know, she's not very judgmental. She's not at all judgmental of character. She deals with the issues. So, regardless of how you appear or what side you on, if you were right, she would say you are right. And most people like that in the political arena are not liked because of that. It's like a car says something good if I'm not on your political side. And that is not who she is. If she is not on your political side and she thinks that what you say is correct, she will say that what you said is correct. And then we're talking Pan, oh God, which is her
Yes.
baby. Cats and Jammers is her baby.
Yes,
You know, and
definitely.
she loved the Pan. Even before she ascended to president, she loved the Pan. It's like another child that she
Yes.
takes home and takes care of. And not only that, but she loves Tobago.
Yes.
And so
always using the always plugging into
so she will say, hey, medium here.
That's right.
You know, for the second time we had the medium finals here. And the
Fantastic.
first time, Cats and Jammers were eased out of the first position. And thank God, and it has nothing to do. Don't nobody would say.
Try some words.
Oh, eased out. Nobody would say that because she's the president. You saw
Yes.
that performance?
Yeah.
You listened to that performance? You
I
watched
was
that
on my
performance?
feet for the performance.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father, help us all.
deserve.
Yeah.
But beautiful, well done. I am so proud. We are, as
Yeah, we are
you know,
proud.
generally. Tobago Nans, I think generally we are very proud of her.
Yes.
I think she's a unique person, very strong individual. And, you know, I sometimes say a strong black woman. You know why? Because no other race says strong,
Strong
nothing.
white. Correct.
So he's a strong woman.
Correct.
Yeah.
Full
Correct.
stop. And I love her for that.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, the other name I was trying to remember, Miriam Caesarmore.
Yes.
That's the name I was trying to remember. This is names.
We have been blessed in this Tobago space.
Yes, we
been
have.
blessed.
We have.
Look on the screen, we have footballer.
Oh yes, we have Kenya.
Kenya.
We have Yaya.
Yes.
Correct.
We
Thank you,
have-
minority leader, for that.
So we have been doing
We have
so
Kimika
well.
Forbes.
Kimika
Yeah.
Forbes, correct.
We have a lot of women, young women, old and young, making contributions and putting Tobago on the map every time that they can.
Yeah.
And that is very encouraging. And I clap every time. Every time.
Yes, and they have been representing not only locally, but internationally and regionally, and they have been doing a great job flying the red, white, and black.
Hi.
And a lot of times, we don't see, we don't appreciate, we don't celebrate.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Even
Tony.
when they are successful. I don't know what it is about us as women
Yeah,
that
I think we're quick to tear down each other because we don't understand, or you don't support, or you don't agree, or it's not your cup of tea. Doesn't mean you have to tear down someone. Just celebrate somebody in their niche. Once they're doing good, once is something to be celebrated, worth celebrating. Celebrate women. Celebrate.
You know,
Yeah.
you touch a very, a point there that is very close to my heart. You know, sometimes I tell my team, I used to lead a team of women only. We recently just got a guy on where I work. And I will tell my team, I may seem tough on the outside, but you know what? I will prefer to tell you as it is and go and cry myself to sleep, you know.
Yeah.
But I face the world bold and brave.
Yes.
You should not know. You know, and a lot of people, I can remember one time, and you say women will cry down women. I remember dating this guy at one time, and his ex-girlfriend would phone me to say that they were still having relations. And you know what I said to her? I said, you know that if I know, or if he found out that you told me that you all are having relations, your relation will end. So if you want to continue to have relations,
Don't stop it calling me.
keep it to yourself. Don't tell me, and have fun while you You know, I will be protecting myself. I urge you to do the same. So instead of fighting with her as she anticipated, or instead of allowing her to ruin my day as she intended, I went and fixed after. But she, the other woman, is not to know that you upset me. You are not to change the way how I brace my day or
Yes.
embrace my day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of women will do that. Why? Why are you pretending to use somebody's phone to call
don't.
somebody? Why? There's
I
no
don't
need.
know. I don't know what
You know?
we're quick as women. And as we're talking there, a quote came to me. Dimming someone's light doesn't make yours shine
Shine
brighter.
No.
Yeah.
And we
As a matter of fact, you probably even pay your bill.
exactly.
So you get cut.
So every opportunity I have to celebrate young women, older, just women as a whole, I
Yeah.
do, because you will want to be celebrated at some point when you do
Yes.
something good in your own little sphere.
Yeah.
So I see somebody mentioning Dr.
Yes,
Remy,
Right, independent
yes,
of the
yes,
law.
you did.
another
indicate.
force to be reckoned with,
Correct.
saying
Yes.
it as it
Speaks
is.
a mind.
Yeah. Persons to look up to, and we have young Asha, is Asha James, a footballer.
Yes, footballer.
A footballer
Yes.
so we have a lot of a lot of women who blaze in the trail in their own little sphere, in their own little niche, and we need to not wait until they're past to give them the flowers, as we say.
Correct, as the Calypso,
Give them,
yeah, rightly
give
said.
them. We have Calypso Rose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Queen.
We have Calypso Rose.
Queen
How
of
we gonna forget-
Queen.
How can we forget Calypso
Yeah.
Rose? There's so many.
Yes.
There's so many women in this
Yeah.
little island of Tobago who have done so much to contribute to us reaching where we are.
Yeah.
We need to mention their names and not just wait for International Women's Day.
Yes, sir.
But we need to mention,
of
say
them.
their names and speak of their contributions so the younger generation
Yeah.
will be
Could
aware
know.
of what they have, where we came from, their contribution to where we are now.
But
Excellent.
not only those who have made a name, you know, sometimes you act in little circles, in little
Yes,
holes.
yes,
Right? Like
yes.
you might have
And
a
you
sister.
remain
Yes.
unknown
Unknown.
And you know, I want
and
to cover those.
unappreciated.
Correct. I want to cover those because sometimes you never find your way to the limelight.
Yes.
Yes.
But there might be a sister who holds the family together, a mother, you know, and a niece.
Yes.
In my case, a granddaughter. My granddaughter is well, your host, who usually would work. Your male host, he knows that embrace my granddaughter.
Yes.
She's a very loving, caring, different child. I believe she's from a different time. And I know there are a lot of other
Yeah.
young persons, female persons that are like her. Right? So those persons sometimes never make the limelight, but we have to embrace them and
And
encourage
celebrate
them to be
Exactly.
the best that they can
And
be.
celebrate the small things.
These small
Sometimes
things.
somebody may be struggling with one particular area. And you know, as women, we play so many different roles.
Wear different hats.
Wear different hats.
Yes.
You know, we are called to do, or we are called to be so many things to so many different people.
Correct.
And every day is not necessarily a good day.
Of course.
And sometimes just waking up and showing up, showing up,
Showing up.
is something to
Is enough.
celebrate.
Correct.
Yep.
So we are encouraging each other to celebrate the small things. Also be kind.
Be kind.
My.
Be
Sometimes we
kind.
can be so unkind.
And listen,
Our
if
words
this little
can
tongue,
be so piercing.
What
this
is about
little
women?
tongue, boy, wow,
Yes.
wow.
Women mouth is just friend.
But
Say that.
before we close off, because we didn't recognize that an hour would fly by so quickly, because we were here thinking about what will we discuss
speak
for the
about
whole
this entire hour.
Yes. Some my panelists indicated I thought we were passing through. I was here for 10 minutes. It's close to that hour when we are about to wind up. But I want us to. We have 2 female parliamentarians in Tobago.
Yes.
And we can't close the evening without celebrating them.
Yes.
And that is our MP for Tobago East,
And West.
Ayana Webster Roy, who is currently now she is away on business.
Yes, yeah.
And we also have
Miss Shampa
MP for
Kojo.
Tobago West.
My
And
MP, as I like to call
Minister of Community Development,
Yes.
Ms. Shampa Kojo.
Yes.
And they are 2 young women blazing the trail,
Correct.
representing us well here on the island. And we sincerely thank you for your contributions. We thank you for your representation. And again, as young women, it's not always easy to be in the limelight and to be in frontline politics. You
And to
know.
be living on the and.
Yes, and to be living and being Tobagonian
Yep.
is so the commute alone.
Yep. Yep.
Even after the commute and you land, you're tired. 2, your contribution have to be twice as good to be recognized. I think a lot of people don't recognize that, because even when you go to school in Trinidad, you have to be real bright to even be referred to as the Gonian, you know. Other than that, you're in the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them to recognize you in the classroom itself, you have to be twice as bright as the person, the regular person. So it's difficult. And we only have 2 representatives going to Trinidad to represent us. And a lot of people would say, well, what did us do? What did us talk about?
Yeah.
And I think those are persons who don't necessarily understand the politics. And I'm not saying that they can't do more.
Yes.
I'm not saying that they can't raise more Tobago-based issues. But I'm saying hats off. Because it's not,
Yes.
it's not
It's
easy.
not an
It's not an
easy
easy
task.
feat at all.
Yeah.
Just I make it one trip to Trinidad and I'd be tired. So I could imagine
Yes.
the constant back and forth.
Yeah.
back and
Every
forth.
week.
Yeah. And then
Several times
you
a
have
week.
family,
You have
like
your families,
you have family, you have
Yeah.
you know, hobbies, you have
Correct.
you're a human being at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hats off to both MPs.
Yes. Again, we
MPs.
celebrate you and we really thank you for your contributions. And do you have any person significant to you that you want to celebrate? I know you would have said you want to you're celebrating your granddaughter, but is there anybody else that, you know, as a woman that are close to you that may not be in the limelight, but they have, whatever they have done, you feel like you need to celebrate them?
Yeah.
Me, I want to celebrate my best friend. She's a young farmer. And I don't think we see a lot of young female farmers in Tobago, and she is doing extremely well in her business. And this is not just me saying it because she's my friend, but she has done extremely well in her business, Trace Farm, for anybody who wants seasoning and stuff. And she is so passionate about her field that I don't think we see that in a lot of young women in farming. So I am always amazed. I'm always, in awe when I see her in action. So I want to say hats off to you, Tanisha Cupid, and keep doing a good job. And someone who I've always admired since I was young, Miss Sharon Phillips. I think
Since you were young?
yeah. I was younger. When I was younger with Miss Sharon Phillips, I think that she has, in the entertainment industry, has contributed so much. I think that we don't. I don't know if I think we do recognize it, but I don't think we should is enough. Sharon's voice is out of this world. Her contribution to entertainment and making these designs,
Designs,
yes.
is so talented, and I think hats off to you, Sharon Phillips, if you're watching, and keep on doing a good job. Keep on doing a good job.
Excellent.
I want to echo those Sharon Phillips sentiments. You know, that she's such a beautiful person. She's also a person who speaks her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She call her spade a spade. Sometimes a bit louder than
it should
you
be.
expect. But she is who she is, and I love her for that.
Yes.
But my mom, posthumously, I only had my mother for about 22 to 23 years of my life. But I'm nearing 50, and there's not a day since my mother passed on that I cannot look for an example from her that guides me through to today. She is responsible for everything that I am, my entire being. Okay, Dad, he's also posthumously. I mean, he would have contributed.
We understand.
To some extent. But Mom raised me.
Yeah.
So, they were separated, and Mom raised me. And you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
So I never missed my dad until I was married and had kids and realized how children play between Mom and Dad, and how they would go by Mom,
Yes.
ask Mom for something, Mom would say no, go by Dad,
Yes,
get true.
yes,
And then you're like,
yes.
but I just tell the person no. I never missed that.
Yeah.
Because I always had everything that I wanted from my mom. So Mom, posthumously, I know the angels, wherever they are, spiritually will communicate with you that I am grateful for you being who you were to me and to our family.
Excellent.
But we can't close off without mentioning our host.
Yes.
We can't really
How
mention the
how
host.
dare us?
Miss Petal Benoit, Mrs. Petal Benoit has been doing such a wonderful job, and I don't think you saw yourself in this position. If you
Yeah.
asked her 2-3 years ago, if
Like,
where
would you
would
do
you
that?
be? She'd be
No,
like,
no.
I'd be doing something
Crunching
else.
numbers.
Yeah. But I think that given the position that you are and the tumultuous task that you and the minority leader have, that you have been doing an excellent job. You've been representing us very well. I must say, when as a young woman looking on, I know it's a difficult task at times, but you hold your own very well, and I must say congratulations to you and keep doing the good job that you're doing.
I really do appreciate that, and thank you very much.
No.
Yes, if anybody would have told me that I would have been sitting here today, I may have said, but thy will be done, and I really
Indeed.
do appreciate prayerful support, just general words, because sometimes it's not always easy. And especially when the minority and leader and I go to the house, it's 2 against many, so sometimes it's very difficult. And I am happy that we have such a good relationship, that we are each other's support system.
Yeah.
So you may see a lot of times that we talking to each other, and it's because in the house, we have each other. Yes. So minority leader, I continue to thank you, lift you up in prayer because I know for you as well, the task is not easy. And again, we thank you for tuning in tonight and viewing the Minority Reports. We miss you. I miss you sitting next to me this evening. But for me, in terms of celebrating women, Natasha, you would have said it, I have a lot of women that I feel like I want to celebrate, but tonight I want to single out my mother. My mother is all that I know in terms of rearing and raising me, because my father died. I really did not know my father because he died while I was young. And, a lot of times we take that for granted. We take what our parents, and in my instance, what my mother would have provided single-handedly. And I think you only appreciate and understand what mothers and parents go through after you become a parent.
Yeah.
Because even up to today, I am thinking like, nobody prepared you for this thing called parenting. You're basically a parent. Once you're a parent all your life. Correct. So even up to this very moment, my mother support me in ways that sometimes you even take for granted. Yeah. So mommy, I really do support, celebrate, appreciate. I may not always say it or oftentimes say it, but all your support does not go unnoticed. So thank you, and we celebrate you. So we have come to the end of this evening's episode of the Minority Report. And as we come to a close, I want to thank my panelists. And I think we had a very lovely evening celebrating women. And this is something that we need to do a lot more.
Yes.
We ought not to wait on the day designated,
For that.
but in our spaces, in wherever we are, let us celebrate and support women.
And be kind.
Let us be kind. Say a kind words, because you don't know what that other person is going through. And your words could either uplift or break down.
Agreed.
And you won't imagine the damage that an unkind word could do to somebody who is having a bad time or experiencing difficulty.
Yes.
So, closing remarks.
Natasha, you're going first?
No, not this time.
I just want us as young women, as women in Tobago, just to keep encouraging each other, to keep pushing each other. There's so much that we can achieve once we work together, and I am so excited when I see women reaching their goals and excelling in whatever spheres that they are. So I celebrate women. Big up to Elizabeth Foster Martin. Just to plug she in there because she's my best mate, I don't say. And thank you for having me this evening. It was a really, really interesting and enjoyable show this afternoon.
Thank you, Miss London. Miss Rochford Chance.
You got it correct.
If nothing else.
If nothing else. Yeah, keep chipping away at the glass ceiling,
yes.
you know, keep making your mark in this world, keep being positive, keep being honest, keep being gentle, be kind, be nurturing, be loving. Find your niche, mind your business. Be you.
Yes.
Be the best you that you can be. I celebrate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. And I want to close by saying Happy International Women's Day. Let us celebrate and support each other. Let us be kind to each other. Let us be each other's keeper. Let us celebrate the small things. And let us just continue to support as we embrace equity. So thank you for viewing the Minority Report. I want to again thank my guests, Miss London and Miss Rochford Chance. I think we had a wonderful evening. And thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. So celebrate yourself, celebrate another woman, just celebrate and support. And let it not be an annual thing, but let us do it all the time, every day. That celebration and support will go a long way to helping another woman. So have a good night and thank you for tuning in.